All right, here's the thing about Apostle Thomas, right? Who I think is awesome. I think he's rad and intelligent, and quite frankly, one of the coolest apostles out there. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to. I think it's interesting that of all the apostles, most of them were told, go north. He's like, Peter, well, Yeshua. He's like, Peter, well, was it Yeshua or was it John? I was like, no, after Jesus died, it was Peter calling the shots, Don't know what gave Peter the right to dictate everything, considering that Yeshua literally called him the stumbling stone. He had to deal with the Jews in Rome, and Paul, who was, smarter than Peter, also got Rome and was an apostle, but, of the actual part of everything that was true, which, 12 is true. I'm not saying anything against that, but, the Jesus of it all that came to him, and boom, the voice in the sky, and blinded him before restoring his vision, the spirit part of it all. Which was, that was ultimately what Yeshua was bringing in. And anyhow, everyone else told, go north and proselytize, go south and proselytize. But Thomas, they told him, dude, get as far freaking east as you can, buddy. And he's like, don't want to. Dude, Tommy boy, head east, home slice. And he's like, okay. And then, there's the infancy gospel, which basically has Spirit Christ literally selling Thomas into slavery to force him over to India. Gosh. Oh, man. But he did a lot of good there, Every time he was given money by the king, he just used it to build churches and help the homeless and stuff like that. That dude was awesome, man. I think Thomas, I believe that on a spiritual mind level, Thomas was the twin of Yeshua. I believe they too were a big part of the entire way of it all, because that's what the disciples originally called is the way. And that's why, Mormonism, they're big on the 12, and Greek Olympiad, they have their 12, and the children of Israel is on their 12. And when you utilize the power of the 12, what you do is you invoke extraordinarily geometric, mathematical whatnots, call it magic if you will. But it becomes literary devices that if you're, tapped in enough up here to the mind part that, taps back into the source of all wisdom, knowledge, and truth, it becomes an understanding that you can write out and provide new evidence. That was a big part of Levitical stuff and the Pharisees, I don't know why they discredit the books written after 400 BC, between 400 to 0, because without a doubt the 12 patriarchs absolutely foretells Yeshua's birth. And specifically almost foretells Yeshua's birth as a forerunner for the next guy to come around. So all I ask is that people do their own research and reading into some of the newer texts that have been discovered, not specifically written in recent times, but Nag Hammadi Library, lost books of the Garden of Eden, Dead Sea Scrolls. There's a lot of books that are pretty integral to the actual truth of it all. And it's that truth that has been forgotten. And it's because of that truth that's been removed that we see how wicked and evil the world is. Whether it's President Poopy Pants and his constant levels of greed and bending over, lubing up for, Israel, or it's that bastard state that literally means